Hi, and welcome to College Skills 312.2. This online orientation takes the place of the face-to-face orientation that has been offered in the past. I got tired of sitting in the orientation all by myself because most of my students, by the time they've reached 312.2, don't need to come and meet me face-to-face, period. If, however, you would like to schedule some time, I am happy to meet with you either face-to-face or in a chat room. So hang tight with me for this orientation now and see if I've answered your questions by the time we are done. During the next 7 weeks, we will be looking at basic grammar with the priority put on commas and using those commas to help us eliminate run-on sentences and when not to use commas so that we don't have comma splice sentences, and that you have a real strong foundation by the time we are finished with 7 weeks in how to create compound and complex sentences. In addition to all of the grammar work that we'll be doing, there is reading of good essay writing and articles that I want you to experience. And then I'm going to have you practice the skills that you learn in class by writing a multi-paragraph essay. It will be a practice for you to put into use the skills that we are learning. It is not an attempt to stress you out about, oh my gosh, I've got to write an essay. It should be fun, and we're going to keep it light and easy. If this is the first online class that you've ever taken, please know that the material has been selected and created in a way that should be relatively straightforward for you. I go out of my way to not make it tricky or confusing. So with that in mind, let me just remind those of you that have taken an online class and talk a little bit to you that have not. The online class experience is not self-direct, is not self-paced, is not a correspondence course, is not a free-for-all. In many cases, an online course is actually a little bit more rigorous because it requires incredible self-direction. You will have 7 days to complete the assignments for any given week in this class. If you wait until 2 hours before the due date, you are not only sort of not getting your money's worth out of the class, but you're not going to be learning the information in a way that makes the most use of your brain cells. If you limit yourself to an hour a week, or an hour a day, 5 days a week, you will have given yourself plenty of opportunity for exposure to the material, and you'll be able to come away with a greater level of understanding. The class is designed for us to have weekly reading assignments and lectures, discussions, and an opportunity for you to participate with your classmates and to, as I said earlier, practice essay writing. So we're going to hit lots of different learning styles. We're going to give you lots of opportunities to practice. If you have not taken College Skills 312.1 and are feeling like you need to brush up on some more rudimentary grammar skills, please let me know, because I can give you some additional exercises if you feel like you've got a gap in your knowledge. This is not designed to be a trick. This is designed to be a good practice for you to get comfortable with the skills that you're going to need when you go into an English class. Here's me. I am Pam, and you can reach me in a number of different ways. You will find on the syllabus there is my home phone number. You're welcome to contact me Monday through Thursday between the hours of 9 in the morning and 9 at night. You can reach me via email, but most frequently students find that I get back to them most quickly in the discussion forums in our online class, and I'll show those to you in just a moment. In terms of office hours, I teach mostly online classes for Sonoma State and for Santa Rosa Junior College, so I am never in an office for very long. If you do, however, want to chat with me, I'm happy to do so in the online chat room or via telephone. I just ask that you make an appointment so that I can schedule some time. I'd hate for you to expect to see me in the chat room and hang out waiting for me and not have me show up. In terms of expectations, let me talk about what your expectations should be of me. I make the commitment to my students that the material should be clear, the material should be available when you need it, beyond technical glitches that occur, but in terms of the content and what it is that I am expected to teach you, it will all be there laid out for you. I do my best to be responsible and responsive within 24 to 48 hours during regular business hours, and to give you as much personal attention as I can within the scope of my regular work week. What I expect from you is to be respectful of each other and of me, to be patient, as difficult as it may feel to wait for a response. I assure you that I will make every effort to not have any delay on my part impact your grade. So please be patient. If you have technical issues, I do expect you to let me know so that I can work with the IT department to help try to fix it for you. And I expect you to let me know if you are having problems, because in the world of online education, I don't see the quizzical looks and the scratching of the heads and the putting of the head down on the desk and banging quietly. So if you're starting to feel frustrated, please, please, please let me know. In order to not get frustrated, let's talk about what you need. Definitely, you're going to need to have a computer access. Do not attempt to take this course but using your phone. We have blocking software that will make it so that you cannot record your work in Moodle via a phone. I believe that it works with a tablet, but before you proceed with great enthusiasm, make sure that that work is getting recorded as you're submitting it. You'll need some sort of a word processing software. I don't care what kind you use. You'll need an internet provider and some sort of a search engine, whether you want to use Firefox or Explorer or Chrome, whatever you like. But you will need to have Adobe Reader, a Flash player, a QuickTime player in order for the videos to work. There is, however, no textbook. Everything is provided for you. I give you materials in terms of lectures, opportunities to practice, discussion boards, and non-required external practice links are available for every area of content, including a wonderful software called My Skills Tutor, where I am able to prescribe specific activities and exercises related to the content that we are doing each week. It's a great way for you to reinforce your skills. It is not required. It is definitely recommended, though. In terms of your grades, online exercises 30%, your reading, writing, responses, and your discussions 30%, your 2 quizzes, and your final essay combined for 40% of your overall grade. Each week, I open up the material officially at 12:01 on a Monday morning at midnight, and you should have all of the work completed for that week by Monday the following week at 11:55. While I will accept late work within a week, it's going to be graded later after I've gotten through everybody else. I do encourage you to submit work even if you've missed a deadline, because every point is a good point. It is, however, your responsibility for tracking those assignments and due dates as they are presented for you pretty clearly in Moodle. I may not have specific dates, but you will know whether we are in week 1, week 2, or week 3 as we go along. When you first signed up for your online class, you probably visited the Santa Rosa Junior College website and you used your student ID and your PIN to access your class, and you thought, oh, I'll take an online class. So the assumption is that you know how to use a computer. But let's just talk some basics. When you first log into a class at the JC, you're going to come to the original page here. Now, you'll notice in the address bar it's www.santarosa.edu. If you, however, go in and do distanceeducation.santarosa.edu, it'll take you to the home page for the distance education department. If for some reason you have signed up for this class and have never taken an online class, I strongly recommend that you go into the Kate for Students area for Canvas and do as much of a practice or an orientation as you possibly can. I would hate for the software to be the thing that was the stumbling block for you. When you get ready to take the online class, you can click on the Canvas link and it will direct you. The other thing that you can do is enter, if you look in the address bar, canvas.santarosa.edu, and enter your username and password. Once you get there, click login, and you should see 2 or 3 or 4 or however many classes you are registered for. You'll see our class, 312.2 punctuation rules. If you click on that one, something will happen. Okay, so you're going to see a menu bar, and the way that Canvas works is kind of like what you've got on your hard drive of your computer. There are icons that tell you what different things are, and for this class, you'll find that absolutely everything is already loaded into the class. There's no grand surprises. Your job is to read and respond in one way or another. Sometimes it's through a discussion, sometimes it's through a writing exercise, sometimes it's through an activity. And as long as you stay on course, then you're going to be in pretty good shape. You'll see there is Welcome to College Skills 312.1 and a picture or an icon of a web page. That's an indication it's time for you to click on this and read it. So I'll open this one for you as an example. And you will see it's not terrifically complicated. What you will find, though, throughout the course is that there's a reference to Moodle. Now, I haven't gone through all of the pages and I haven't caught all of the Moodle references yet, so please understand and separate or substitute Moodle with the word Canvas because that's the software we're using now. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and you'll notice I can use the back button pretty successfully here to take me back to where I was. If you look, there are bubbles, word bubbles. These are discussions where I will post things. If I post something to the announcements page for our class, it will actually get emailed to you as well. But if you're not good at checking your email and you are good at checking your news forum, that's a good habit to get into whenever you're taking an online class. Go to the news forum first because that's where a lot of instructors will put things first. If you have difficulties and you need my help and you want fast response, go to Ask Professor Pam. That's going to be where I check daily to see if you have any issues that need to be resolved. Rather than sending me an email, it's actually easier for me as an instructor to keep all of my classes separated, and if they go to my email, they all get dumped into one big bushel, and it takes me a while to sort through them. So use your Ask Professor Pam as a way to reach me. One of the softwares that you're going to need in order to succeed in class is the Adobe Reader. If you don't have that on your system, or you think you might need to update it, I've given you the link here for it. Now, just basic structure. You're going to see in week 1, for example, there are some things for you to read. This is all of week 1. Some things for you to read, some files for you to download. Notice a little arrow tells you that it's an attachment. You can hold on to it. And some things for you to post and reply to, and some things for you to do. So let's just talk about week 1, because week 1 through week 7 are structured in a very similar way. You will go to the Let's Get Started Welcome to College Skills 312.2, and you'll read it. It's a little mini lecture, tells you what you need to do to get started. The syllabus itself is something that is a contract between you and I. It's my outlining what I'm going to give to you and what I expect from you in return for a passing grade. Some students hold on to these for permanent records. I leave it up to you. You don't need to be printing all this stuff out. Okay, then we go straight to orientation and introduction to class. Not as a substitute for what we're doing right now. I do expect you to read the orientation and introduction before you get started with anything. Next is a little assignment. You're going to see Introduction 3. Well, Introduction is the outline of an assignment for you to then go to the Student Introductions Forum by the 6th of November and have had a conversation. Now, I define a conversation as you putting something out there into the universe and then someone responding back to you and then you responding back to them. So in order for you to receive full points for any discussion forum, I need to see that you have had at least 3 interactions. 1, putting your responses to my questions out into the universe, and then actually engaging with other classmates. Now, in order to do that, you can't wait until the very last day to post your introduction, to post your thoughts. You want to do that early in the week so that you then have an opportunity to go in and see what other people have written and choose the 1 or 2 or maybe even more than that you'd like to respond to. Now, I do not respond to every single one of your discussion postings, but I do read every single one. So I expect it to be written in as good a language as you possibly can in terms of your grammar and your punctuation, but also in terms of your collegiality and decorum. I do not give points for hey, yo, awesome. I expect full sentences, even if they're short. And if you have, as many of you do, the reason you're taking this class is because you have some issues with your grammar. I'm not going to beat you up about it, but I do expect to see that you're making an effort, okay? Now, then we move into what you're going to see each week. There's a lecture. The lecture introduces your comma content, which is the first thing we're going to talk about this entire class, followed by a part 2. So once you've read these 2, you can go to the discussion area and you can post your thoughts based on some reading that I'm going to have you do, which style you liked better in how someone used their commas. Then you get to put what you've learned into practice, and you'll notice the Q says quiz. It's really a chance for you to test your knowledge. I don't want you to stress out about it being a quiz. Yeah, you earn points. You earn points for it, but I want you to repeat these quizzes if you need to. I will always default to your highest score. There are 3 opportunities to take each of these quizzes, so please take advantage of that. We'll move on to week 2, the first week of November, and we're going to continue our discussion about commas. Then we're going to look at some reading, and you're going to talk to me about the reading. Then you're going to do a whole bunch of different tests and quizzes. Then I ask that you send me a little private message indicating for me how things are going. What's working for you, what's not working for you. Are you feeling stressed, and in what ways can I help support you? Now you'll see here a link to My Skills Tutor. Now that link isn't going to work until after the 7th of November, but it's an additional software that we use in the College Skills Department to help you hone your skills in grammar. Now I don't put you in there until the second week of class, simply because so many folk end up adding or dropping after the first day of class. That requires me to create a file for every single student, and I'd rather not do the work more than once. So I wait until I have a sense of when students are going to drop or not. But you'll notice that there are some links for practices for external sites. I do suggest that you take a look at them, with the caveat that they all worked, all of the links worked when the class was loaded into the computer. Sometimes links die, and if they die, you're not going to be penalized for not having done the work, but it would be really useful if you go into the Ask Professor Pam area and let me know, and then take it the next step. And I give extra credit for students who come up with another alternatives practice site. So say, for example, the compound sentences practice doesn't work. Go on to Google, see if you can find alternative sentence practice websites, and share what you find with the rest of the class. Having said that, if a link isn't working, go into Ask Professor Pam and see if someone's come up with a different solution. It really does work for you all to be collegial in this course, because I am only going to be checking in once a day, Monday through Thursday, and if something goes awry on the weekends, I don't want you to all be frustrated. Perhaps you can help each other out. Now you'll see it moves through week 3, and I'm going to go pretty quick here until we get to this thing that looks like, oh my gosh, I see the word essay. Yes, you will have one essay that you will be writing. It is a descriptive essay, and it should be kind of fun. You'll have until the 6th week of class, really, to get it completely ready to be posted by the 7th week. It will be for my eyes only until you get to your final draft, and then we post the final drafts for everyone to take a look at and give some feedback on. Only positive feedback, only critique, not criticism. You'll see that I've given you a sample essay as well. So you're going to chug along and follow along with the assignments through week 4, when we move into quotation marks and citations. At that point, you will have what is on here as a midterm. Really not something I want you to stress out about, but it is a pretty big point exam, so do be sure that you actually do the work. You'll see we're going to be looking at quotation marks, and then we move into apostrophes. Apostrophes in terms of showing ownership as well as contractions. Each week you'll see that there are some readings, and here's the link to the assignment, and here's the area where you submit your work. You'll get used to the pattern. Week 6 is my favorite week because there's actually not a whole lot of work for you to do, but there's a lot of really great stuff out there about all the different things that normal people, regardless of how educated they are, struggle with. And the Grammar Curmudgeon's Guide to Grammar, Words and Usage, a funny rant on grammar errors, Keeble's Guide to Grammar, An Idiot's Guide to Correct Commas. I want you to spend the time and look at these and come to the table with a chat about the things that you found the most useful and interesting. Additionally, if you find a better source, by all means, share it with us, because I'm always looking for new things. Week 7 will wrap things up with a final lecture, and then you will submit your final essay draft, and I will have given you feedback long before then, and then you'll take the final exam. Now you'll see that the work is all spelled out for you. First question I get asked by students is, okay, what's due when? Well, I think I can universally state that if it's a Tuesday and you haven't submitted any work for the week before, your work is late. I will still accept it, but it won't get graded until the following Tuesday because I only grade once a week. It's easy for you to track your grades, however, by going into the area here in Canvas called Grades. Now, I'm not sure what's going to show up here. All of your names. You won't see all of your names. You'll just see you. But you'll see that there's a list of every assignment that we could possibly turn in. I'm going to scoot over here all the way over to the very, very end. So you can tell, you can track exactly what your grades are, what you've submitted, what you haven't submitted, and it's your job to determine what you're missing, what you haven't submitted, what you have submitted, okay? In terms of office hours, because of the nature of the class, I don't hold a regular office hour. If, however, you would like to meet with me, I am happy to do an online conference where you and I set up some time and actually have a live chat. And I can do that again Monday, Wednesday during the day. So that's an option for you. So at this point, you should be ready to dive in. And if you have questions, please let me know. If you have problems, please let me know. Otherwise, I will look forward to seeing you online. I do need you to indicate by posting to the discussion by Friday so that I know that you're actually going to stay in class and I don't need to drop you. If you've decided after hearing this orientation that this class is not perhaps a good fit for you, please do the favor and the courtesy of dropping the course early so that those people who are on the wait list can have a seat. I look forward to meeting each of you, and I will see you online on Monday.